day that he saw the star,
It works.
It works because it's considered Eidus Chakura. Question is, when Eidim are Mekayim the star, do they need to remember or not? So we have a machloikis here, the very major machloikis between the Rambam and the Ravid, or Ramban, Rabbeinu Hananel on one side, Ravid, Rabbeinu Hananel, Ramban on one side, and the Rambam. Rambam holds that Eidim, when they Mekayim the star, they have to, if they don't remember the Eidus, they're like Kehanashim. Which means, very strange, the Rambam says.
If you don't remember?
If other Eidim come and say, this is their handwriting, it's okay. If I bring another star and I make a similarity between another star and this star, I can make Kaim. I make a similarity in the signatures, I can establish the star. But, if the Eidim themselves come, and they don't remember, it's possible. That's the Rambam Shita. The Rambam says, anyone that doesn't judge like this, he doesn't know Binyamin or Smoila, doesn't know anything about Dinim Momonis. And the Ravid says, no, there's many big rabbis that know Nilchos Momonis, and they argue about that. So you don't need to remember.
And Tesis would be like that, right?
Tesis is not clear, because Tesis says, if you have a star, and Eidim don't say they saw the Alvo. They saw it says in the star, it's okay, but maybe the star is Mekuyam. You don't know. It's a Pashas Tesis argument.
Pashas, he said, don't
say. Pashas Tesis argument. That's a Pashas. So you have Ramban, that brings the Rabbeinu Hanan and Yerushalmi. You have Pashas Tosfos. You have the Ravid against the Rambam. So today, with the help of Hashem, we want to explain the both Shitas. So it's not me. What we have on this, we have Kiveiger, and we have the Sivis and Ksoy Sachosh. There are three major big rabbis that talk about it. Okay? In the observation of the you have the what's his name? You have the Kiveiger, which is like kind of the Reb Chaim Halevi. That's his group. That's Xeras HaKosu, is magic. So you must say so, otherwise there's so many problems after this magic. You have the Nesives that says, is the Rabbanon. Certain parts is Dovais and the Rabbanon. And you have the Ktsois that makes a middle position, which is Mashma. It's a Pele. You didn't bring the Ramban and Rabbeinu Hanan that says Mamish like him, like the Ktsois. Doesn't quote him. But Mamish, he says that there's a mission that the Eidim don't even remember the Eidus of the Alvo, but they remember they were called to the lawyer, they were called by the husband to write a star. They don't remember the story of the loan, but they remember they were called upon the Baal Din. That's a Mischayef, the sign for him. That's a middle position. That's how it is. There's three ways when you learn it today with Hashem. So really, the Ksoy Sachosh is a clear Ramban. I don't know why you called the Ramban. Yerushalmi, Ramban, who knows?
So there's a difference between Tzibud and Misdas.
We're going to talk about it. Now I'm going to start one by one. So we'll start with the Rambam's inside, the language of the Rambam inside. People which have the papers, I brought a lot of papers to the yeshiva, from the Israeli yeshiva, because they already moved on to the next sugya, which the Bezan will start next week. And Yosef, come on. Guys, come in. Don't be away. Come in. Come on, come in. Come close. There's a lot of space here. You can sit and relax. You need comfortable seats. There's comfortable seat there next to Melech. Is with soft. We're going to turn this thing around and come here. Come on. Or come close. There's another comfortable seat here. It's very simple. If you close, you do me a favor. Okay? And you close. There aren't too many guys here. Yoshua, you can sit here, relax here. Yeah, there's a nice seat here. You want to sit far away? Okay, good. First of all, thank you. Good. Siyata Dishma. Rabbi Yosef, אתה יכול להיות פה couch. The couch. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start with the Rambam's language. Let's medayek what the Rambam says. It's in page, in Slabotka sheets, it's brought down in page 12, Yud Beis. Yud Beis. Maybe some printers you got it. Dalet. Perek Chet Halacha Dalet. You looking for... I just gave you a bundle.
That's good. No, Zichot.
What did it say? I had 20 of them. I just gave you a bundle.
Something like this. I think this is something else.
Here, the bundle is there. Here. We have it. Okay. Siyata Dishma. So we're going to read the language of the Rambam. Page Yud Beis. Daf Yud Beis. Very good. Page Yud Beis. I'm going to read the Rambam's language. And then I'm going to have to start explaining it. Oil va'adovo came. Since the law is so, Shtar sheyotzo lebezin, the shtar that came out of Bezin. Ubo eidim and witnesses came. V'omu ksav yodeinu, that is our handwriting. Aval mo'olam lo yadanu edusu, but we never remember the testimony itself. Ve'ein anu zoichim shezen lovo mizeh. I don't remember that this guy borrowed from this guy, or mochal, or he sold him. Lo niskayim hashtar. The shtar was never established. They're like deaf people. Until they remember the testimony, which means the shtar cannot give them information. So they're deaf. It means there's no communication between the writings and them. So they're mute, they can't speak. Since they can't speak, so they didn't speak. Since the stars are mekuyim.
No, but they speak. They say it's our rights. When they say
this is our handwriting, but when they say, but our handwriting, but we don't know anything about the loan. This is our signatures, but we don't remember the loan. He says it's nothing.
Because the ADM against it. Because the ADM against the shtar.
Where's the ADM?
No,
They don't remember the ADM against the shtar.
No.
No, he doesn't say that.
Against the shtar.
He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. He says, Lo niskayim hashtar, the stars are mekuyim. They're like mute chershi. They're like deaf people. Deaf.
What is this for? It's ADM against the shtar.
No, there's no
ADM
cue.
against the shtar.
No, there's no
Which
cue.
The shtar, they ADM don't remember.
right?
And remember, so they basically saying, Shtiki Kol Goy, they're basically saying there's no shtar. It's ADM against the shtar.
But the shtar
ADM against the shtar, man, it doesn't work.
The shtar have a power in himself. They don't
The shtar is ADM against the shtar. If the Pishka is a Pishka, the shtar, the ADM is against the shtar, but it doesn't work.
I'm going to deal with it. What you're saying is because what you're saying is a question, it's not a solution. I'll explain you why. Because the Mishnah says if Eidim say Anusim Ayinu, Ktanim Ayinu, Psuleidu, so they're fighting the shtar, should I not believe? In here, if they're saying it's not a good shtar, so why we believe them? Shtar should win them.
They didn't say it's not a good star. They said it's their handwriting.
Anusim Ayinu, so they say Ksavadenu is Mekuyam. And then Anusim is fine. Also here, is their handwriting. And we don't remember, so I don't believe them anymore. That's the Rabbit's shayla. So I don't want to go this route.
Hey, Fisher, we can't
That's the
hear you
Rabbit's
because we don't have a
Rabbit's
speaker.
point is
We'll
Motin
find
B'din Amono.
Okay.
Anusim,
we learn
that I not believe. We learned that for a month, right?
We can say Havina.
And now they say it's our handwriting. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember.
Muslim is not believed. They are believed. What are you saying? They're not believed. The Mishnah says they are believed. What are you saying?
Machlokes Chachomim and Rabbi Meir.
Mayor, but they bring him a mayor.
But Amona, Anusim they I believe, but Amona they not believe. Amona said it was never alone.
No, they believe because the Pesha also.
In the sugi between Amon and Anusim, where we had a couple of chilukim in the Rishonim. Toisa the chiluk is, what's Toisa's chiluk? What's the difference between Anusim and Amona? Toisa says, if the star was nichta behechsher, so then I believe to say, Amona. They say Moido Amona, then I believe because he's saying the star is behechsher. But when they say the star never started as a star, so then they're not believe because they're already Mekayim and then one is Soisa, so they're not believe. That was Toisa's answer. Here they say it's our handwriting, but we don't remember it alone. So when they say this is our handwriting, they say it's Nasa Beheksha.
No, the Kiyum. It's a Kiyum. When they say it's a right.
Or they saying it's not Nasa Beheksha, our handwriting, we don't remember it alone. So it's like nothing, it's like Toy says Anusim, it's a Psul Be'etzem, because we were forced to sign. So signatures by force. It's not Be'eksha as out. So when they say we don't remember it alone,
they mean
is in and out. What is it?
No,
1 second.
they mean to say.
So the Ravid says that this should be like Amona, and therefore this should be believed.
They could lie also. I don't remember, but I signed, but I don't remember.
This should not be believed.
Like we
One
can
second.
do Marina.
Let's read the Lashon of the Ravid.
Don't remember just doesn't mean anything.
One second. I'm going to read the Lashon of the
You
Ravid.
don't remember.
It's in page 13, the next page we have the Ravid. It quotes the Ravid.
A person can get a bump on the head and not remember. So what?
The
Doesn't
Ravid.
say anything against the shtar.
The Ravid, I'm reading now 3 lines in the Ketzoitz HaChoshen, in page 13. Ketzoitz HaChoshen, Siman and Vov Sif Yud, third line from the beginning of the Ketzoitz. The Ravid Perekes Min Chosteidus Kosav Zelashon. Omar Avro. Ve'yesh mi she'en moidim ken ve'yodim b'dinem kamoisem. There are those who don't follow the Rambam, and they know laws like him. What they hold? Shim'omu enon zichoin klal en zustila. If they say we don't remember at all, it's not a stira to the shtar. They don't say the shtar never started. Anusim, 1 second. Anusim is they say the shtar never started. It's through beguf. He says if they don't remember, he should say it's like Amona. Shimon and Zikon Kla'en Zustira. The Yoisim is it. More than that. Shafilo Muksavedein was there. This is our handwriting. Amoilam Loisim Bibo was never alone. Not that we don't remember. We remember there was no alone. Ki Mamon Loiso and Emoni.
Again, so when you hold this is what they get. So if you don't remember how you do the Ravid says.
He says Ein Emoni. But he says it should be like Hamon. The Ktsois, they're not the Ktsois. The Ravid, when you started saying, I said I was quiet, silent to myself, how to define it.
The law in Amona would be that there is a kiyum, and we don't believe what they have to say.
Amona means, Amona is not stira. Amona is not a stira to the Etzem Shtar.
No, it is, but we don't believe them because they're Rishonim.
No, because when they say the Ksav Yodein, when they say it's Nichta Be'echsher, it's not a stira that's no shtar. There's a shtar, but it was no law. It was plenty. Shtar, planned, all prepared to be alone.
The reason we don't believe them in Hamana, the reason we don't believe them in Hamana is because they're making this up Rishonim.
He's saying if the Eidim sign a shtar for the sake of giving a law, was written for that goal, but in the Maisa was never alone, or Lo Yisrael Olam, never alone, or Amona, he believed that maybe will be alone. Depends on him.
So then, what's the Ravid?
Either way, the Ravid says Ein Emonim. Why? It's not a stira to the kashrus of the shtar. It's like Amona. I don't see my that I believe to destroy the
The
shtar.
still hold like the Rambam, doesn't work.
But Amone, or was never alone, or we don't remember it alone. It's the same. He holds it's not a stira to the shtar. And therefore, I believe the shtar will be a shtar.
According to the Ravid, the kiyum stands as a kiyum.
Kiyum stands on a kiyum.
And according to the Rambam, it doesn't.
Never start as a kiyum. It's a stira. Okay, that's how you start the frame against. If it's against, so it should not be believed. The shtar is strong. So I think that you want to use the word against. That's the right. That against means it's a shtar, and I'm fighting it. So, Bechsher, Naso, Amono, never alone. We don't remember it alone. It's all the same. It's a shtar with a fight. So therefore, it's a kiyum.
It's a good start.
It's a good shtar, it's a kiyum, and not belief. They're fighting a shtar, good shtar. But the Rav say, but the Rambam holds, no. Let's go back to the Rambam. Let's go back to the Rambam. The Rambam says, yeah, the shtar that comes out of the hands of the Beis Din, and the Adin himself says, yes, there's a handwriting, but we don't remember the Bechlad alone. We don't remember such a long.
But they are
The Rambam says, the shtar is not mekuyom, the shtar is not established. It's like Cheshim, until they remember the Eagles. There's no kiyum on the shtar. They are the money to destroy the shtar. Like Cheshim. Until they remember the Eagles. And anyone that doesn't judge so, lo yoda bedine mamonas bedyamino, so he doesn't want any laws of money between his right and left hand. Avol, but Reblevel at Tzadik. You want the papers? They give him some papers. Get involved. Get involved. In your chesed, get him involved too. Give him a help, a head start. Yes. You love to talk, right?
I love
So talk to him, not to me.
I always talk with him
That's good.
about
That's good.
this.
That's good.
But he don't want to
He's
listen.
joking. He's joking. Ava. Im oil ksaviyodon yotzim mokeba. But if the handwriting of the witnesses was coming out somewhere else, or show you or there was other pair of witnesses that they are saying Shezek Ksaviyod is a handwriting. Mekayim es hashtar, you establish a shtar. Then mashgichim al divrei, we don't care their words. Shoy mimena nuzoichim, we don't remember the testimony.
What is the difference?
Shema chodmem, they retract. We don't.
What is the difference in the Raida? I also use that.
No.
I also said
No. Let's go with the Rambam. The Rambam says, if the agents themselves come and say, there's a handwriting, but you remember, so when they said a handwriting, it's nothing, because they don't remember the Eagles. They don't remember the Eagles, it's finished, like Cheshin, they're like Chegesh.
It's a cue. We learn in the other sugya that we say, I signed this by Anusimaino, Tanimaino.
So they believe.
They make you.
Remember, they don't know.
No, I know that they remember the case, but
So,
in this case.
So the Mishnah that says, Anusimaino, they believe that the short, Anusimaino believe that the short is short.
The Shtar have the power in himself. You can't destroy a Shtar.
So here,
because you don't remember
the language, I'm going to explain to you. Here, the Rambam is not saying they believe they destroyed the shtar. So they never established the shtar. Lo niskayim shtar, and therefore they're like mute until they remember the Eagles. Doesn't say a little bit. He's not saying anusim einu ne'emonim. Their ne'emonim is what? The ne'emonim, the shayla, and we learned the turutzim and the rishonim, the deceivers. Do you rip it or you just don't collect with it? Remember we learned that? I know, so do you rip it or you don't collect? Here, when it's kind of style, definitely the Rambam holds you don't rip it. You just don't, it's not established. If they don't remember, so they don't even have an Eidos. If they don't remember the Eidos by themselves, so they want to establish a style from the handwriting, they pick so the handwriting cannot be a source of information. The handwriting cannot be a source of information for them if they don't remember themselves.
But we learned that we have.
What happened? Maybe they can hear me.
I don't know. Let me see.
Reception.
But if the angels themselves, if the witnesses themselves come and say, this is our handwriting, but we all remember the angels. So then, if they don't remember the angels, they cannot give a testimony. They don't remember the angels. I don't want to give a testimony that's the handwriting, right? And therefore, it was alone. If they don't remember it alone, so who tells us it was alone? The fact that it's the handwriting. So the Ksav is going to reveal to us that was alone.
Yeah, why'd they sign it? If they signed it, it means it was a loan.
This is the way I want to represent. You shifted it to a case. That's why I'm trying to run away from this. It's cool what you said. You started by saying the fire star. So the fire star should not be believed. That's the right. It says it's a star. And they find it. So the star finding you not believe. That's what the Ravid says. There is a cube. But the Rama holds there's no cube. And more of that. They're like mute, not mute, not ilni. The deaf, what does the deaf mean? That they cannot hear information from the star. That's what it is. The big saba. The Ksav cannot give them information of the loan. If they don't remember the loan, the Ksav cannot give information of the loan. Made the Eidus, the star is not mekuyom. They cannot hear from the star that was alone, the Chedesh. So it's finished, it's the star not mekuyom. This is the way the Rambam is saying. Obviously, the Rambam holds that when they say we don't remember the law, there's no establishment on the Shabbat. It's like Anusi. It's not like Amon like the Ravid, it's Anusi. There's never stop. What? Yeah, but it's not the way. It's not what the Ravid is defining. The Rambam says when they say they're handwriting and they're not giving a testimony on the law, so then how do we know the law? From the handwriting cannot speak to them. The handwriting cannot give the information about the loan to give a testimony because they don't remember themselves. The only thing they want to get it from the handwriting there's no communication. They cannot hear it. And since they cannot hear it, so we have a shtar that is not mekuyah. They say the handwriting is not a kiyum enough because they have to know about the loan. They don't know the law. The only way they can know it is from the writings. The writing cannot speak of it. So the Big Psalm was only the second part. That it cannot reveal them after they say the handwriting. The star is not yet a star mekuyom to give them information that they can give a testimony. Edus upon the star. Upon star mekuyom, you can say, I saw the loan. If A didn't see a star mekuyom and say, listen, we saw star mekuyom, say we saw the loan. So you have to say, according to the Rambam, when you have a star that was burned, you have a star that is burned, you have a star that was erased.
Wait a second, loan, the Rambam, you're working with Raphaim last week? You're working with Raphaim?
I'm going to work with everything.
I'm
going to make a big, very tasty shakshuka.
Raphaim made a kinyan between kinyan.
Very good.
Raphaim made a kinyan between kinyan and right.
After all that, I said there's three ways I'd explain this Rambam. The Chaim is one of the ways, it's one of the groups of ways, the way he learns the Rambam. But the Rambam says here that there's no difference between Anusim Ainu, Ktanim Ainu, or they don't remember the law. No kiyum. No kiyum. And no way they're chilshi. But if there is other witnesses that establish a shtar, another shtar established a shtar, even though the Aidin himself come and speak, we don't care. We don't care what they speak. We don't remember the Shema Chosme, they retract it. I'm reading the Rambam. Four lines on the bottom. That they say we don't remember. In order to cancel the document. The Rambam totally makes a similarity between Ktanim and Psule Eidus, and don't remember the testimony. It's the same. That they the one of the on the star. Shein Emonim, and I believe. Or in Vash Miskamer Star, so I'll be in the star down upon the mount. Mitan Ze Mekayim Kol HaShoros. All the stories we came through others or other Eidim or other stuff. So we don't bring the Eidim and to ask them, do you remember? Because it's not upon them. Even they come themselves, they say, we don't remember, we don't care. And train them, we don't establish through them. But when establish through them, so then they never establish it. Because they say, we don't remember. Elamai, the star is telling them, the star is on the coil. It's an Eidos, the Eidos tells them, it's Chirshi, they can't hear it. They can't say ADPA because of themselves. But maybe the Rambam wasn't bothered with that, but he said Chirshi. There's a lack of Chirshi, you cannot speak with it. This is what the Rambam Shita.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if there was a shir before that. No, we're watching.
So what really what? Because the other thing we spoke about Anusim, Ktanim, Suleidim, and Amon and Moido. Now we adding, we don't remember the testimony.
Yeah, but in this case, in those cases, they are still kasher. They say we are signing this, but Anusim.
So there they say it's not a shtar. Really say it's not a shtar. I know say they say it's not a shtar.
That's why you believe him that he don't remember. He said to you, yes, it's my sign. But I don't remember.
So why? So the Kota Rambam is similar to Anusim. Kota Rambam is not similar to Anusim.
No, we have two cases in Anusim. Anusim begal nefashot or begal mamon.
No, we're not talking about that.
We have two Anusim because
correct. Correct.
Because in Mamon we don't believe them. Okay, perfect. But here we have one case. Okay, you came to the court when the came to the Beidin, the yes. Already investigated. It's not no, it's not investigated.
It's not. The Mishnah says, I believe. According to Chachamim, I believe.
Why does it say that?
People don't make a style.
Why does it say the same? It's like
he said, the kilo uktanim ayinu psuleidu saying. The Rama puts in a similarity. Same thing.
It's similar to the case between the kiyum and you say that they're not believed for the kiyum.
When you have a kiyum somewhere else. But, right, but when in the Reisha, when they ate in themselves come and say,
it says that when it does believe the others.
Right, and we look on them as they retract. Shema Chosu Bohem. But how do you define when witnesses themselves come and say, is a handwriter or don't remember the story? No, I don't see that, and I believe there is no shame. Not Peshosa. Peshosa, that's what that's what you listen to them. But the mice what they're saying there's no stop. No stop. Because it's time there's never key to stop with.
No.
Yes.
That's why the rabbi doesn't understand it. That's the serious here. It's a different thing. It's not because it's like a Nusim, it's a different world. It comes from a different thing. Because if it's coming because a Nusim, you don't understand why the place of this shtam. The Mikhaim, they don't remember, it's the side thing, they don't remember, it's their problem.
It's not a side thing.
Why is it a side thing? That's the question. It's not because it's like a Nusim.
If you give me money,
Anusim, they believe that it's so. לא, לפי טייסס גדיר שהמון אומרים שיש פה שטר, ובאנוסים אין שטר. אני מדבר על זה התכוונתי כמו אנוסים, שאין פה שטר בכלל. וכסף ידינו לא זוכרים, זה לא שטר בכלל. That's it. Okay, we have to start investigating what the
last question on that thing. In this case,
don't say that.
No, okay.
Li neder. When I'm a lot of questions.
No, I know. But in this case, the man.
You're saying that same thing you're bothering, not bothering.
Okay.
You're bothering everyone. Also, I'm joking. But you go we said, put the Torah is Torah. When you speak, and you understand.
Yes. But in this case, if we have a star, we have a madre and a lobe. If the Malve say, I signed this, but I
Yes.
don't remember.
Yes.
As he don't have any responsibility to pay the person that they give the money. It's like a.
No, he has responsibility. But if he says, I don't owe you the money, and you on the other side feels injustice, he has to prove the injustice. But he doesn't know the truth. We never have kapei shamayim. Kapei shamayim, when somebody owes money, he really owes, he owes. But here, we don't know the truth. The Beis doesn't know the truth. The guy says, I don't owe the money. He says, no, I have a star. So the Beis says, okay, mekayim it. The witness says that we don't remember the story, but there's a handwriting.
We call another two witnesses.
If it's another audience, it's okay. You can pay. But themselves, they don't remember, it's no good.
No, but in this case, if I take this, I can steal money.
No.
Because I go to one, I say, give me money, start here, okay, and then the lady call me, I don't remember. And I can make a lot of money because I do with him. I don't remember. Oh. And I wish, because I take a lot of long. Who paid the people that they gave? Like you give me money.
I don't know what you're saying.
No,
You say, if I understand you clearly, you're saying if you borrowed money,
in this case,
you have to pay the money if you borrowed.
Like Malve and Love.
Even if you don't have a shtar, I'm saying if the loive borrowed money and there's no shtar against him, he still needs to pay.
We have the shtar.
Let's say the shtar is no
good. The shtar is not good.
He needs to pay or not?
Of course I need to pay.
That's all.
But in this case, the Rambam says you don't need to pay.
No, he doesn't say that. He says you don't have a shtar that will force you to pay. But if you know the truth, can be a ganav. You're thinking of you must pay.
According to what we see here, it's like a steal of.
You don't have a proof. You don't have a proof. The lender, a malvit, doesn't have the proof. What happens if you don't have a proof? You deposit money in the bank and you don't have the proof that you deposited. The bank says you never gave and you don't have the deposit. What do you do?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
No,
So you keep your record.
The receipt you have.
But if you don't keep it, you lost it, or it's no good, or it's erased. Problem. There's a problem in the proof, not a problem in the reality.
The problem is not in the reality, it's in the proof.
Correct.
Okay.
So in this case,
in this case, I can understand this, that the person.
Now we're going to see very good. Good enough. Now I'm going to go to page 6. And daf 4, daf 5, and Slavot Bishit. Guys, no time, can't talk too much. I'm reading the Ramo first before Kivega. Our goal is to get to read Kivega. Read the Ramo. The Ramo goes on in Simon Mem Vov. The Ramo goes on a Mechaber. The Mechaber brings two opinions. He brings the Rambam Shita, that if the Eidim don't remember themselves, there was a loan, there's no kiyum. And he brings the Yesh Chokim. The Mechaber, it's Simon Mem Vov, Sif Yud, Sif Aleph, whatever he brings. It's a whole long Sif. You know, it's not printed here. Just tell me about it. Brings the Rambam, the Eidim Kiyum didn't remember the loan. And then the Ramon Mechaber brings the Rambam, and he brings the Rif, and those who argue says no. Even if the Eidim say we don't remember the loan, it's a Kiyum. Like the Ravid says, they're not believed to say they don't remember anymore, and therefore it's a Kiyum. Comes the Ramon, he says, Veloy Ba'inon is according to, not the Rambam, the other opinion, the Ravid. ולא בעינן שיזכור העדוס אלו בידי חוד או בבייס עדין יקינו השטר. I don't need to remember the testimony only with one witness or two witnesses. Liyankium השטר has to be not a real שטר, כסב יודו or whatever it is. אבל בייס עדים החסומים על השטר. Again, one witness gives a testimony, he needs to remember. Or two witnesses that want to make kind of star of somebody else. You have to remember This is the handwriting. Remember this handwriting.
No, Eidos.
Or remember the Eidos. Or the base 80, what is the base 80 in Kinyan Shtar? Which Kinyan Shtar?
The signature. Each one doesn't know. I think that case, but they don't know the other signature. They only know their signature.
Okay, so they don't need, if they remember themselves. So if 280 are made on their own signature, right, and nobody's made on each other, they need a third guy from the market, right? So you have base 80. They didn't remember when they say Ksav Yodenu, and not Ksav Yodenu, Ksav Yodin, this is my handwriting. So it's not the kind of star yet, because you need a third guy. They made on each signature, but at least they made on their own signature. That's called Eidus. In the process, Kiyum, the Kiyum Ashtar means in the process. It doesn't finish the Kiyum. There's a process again. Normally, Kiyum is this is my handwriting and my friend's handwriting. Another one says this is my writing and this is my friend's writing. So each one is made on themselves on each other. So on each signature you have two. But if you have anyone just remembers their testimony, so it's 1-8 and 1-8. And each city you have 1-8. So it's not finished. You need somebody from the street. So when it's called only Eidos, not Kiyum Ashtar, it's a process of Kiyum Ashtar. He says the aid needs to remember, in that case, 1-8, the Eidechod, or when each one says this, my signature is also like the Eidechod, because it's Eidechod on his own signature, right? So therefore, he has a din of 1-8, or base 80, and they say they only know their handwriting. So they, in that case, they need to remember the testimony. They remember the law. About base 80, machasum el ashtar. But if I have two witnesses that sign an ashtar, afal pishen zoichim aidus klal, even though they don't remember the testimony at all, what this is our handwriting. Yes, that's all we remember. But we don't remember the aidus klal. Ve'ein ashtar kosu kitikun the ashtar not written in the proper.
What is Moisi? It means the worst.
No, because he was voicing that sheet, and the sheet is a sheet in the temple. In order for that star to be a star, also needs to be kitikun. I don't know what kitikun means. Kitikun means proper setup or doesn't mischai. Then a star kosul kitikun. Mikol makom adas eidimika. The stool adas. He says, two witnesses that sign on the shtar, and they don't remember Eidus at all, so there's no kiyum, but it's still Eidus. No, it's Eidus. You have Eidi.
The Tosha says, Eidus.
Tosha says there's no shtar, but it's still Eidus. Tosha says, or do you need to remember? Or what the Rashi, even if you remember, it doesn't help. But according to the Rabbeinu Tam, that you only need to remember when you sign, of course you need to remember now. Now you don't remember. When you sign, you did remember. It's okay. The shtar was established.
This is according to the first chapter.
We follow whatever is written in it. Al gav shelo din shtar gom. How do you
establish shtar with only Eidus? How you can do something established on the name of the shtar? If the mahus is never shtar, how you can make
He's saying a shtar that doesn't have the lotion of the shtar. The two witnesses sign on it, and they remember that's their handwriting. They recognize their handwriting. They don't remember the Eidus at all. It's still considered Eidus. And if you Mekayim this Eidus, to another shtar, to another Eidi, so then we follow it, and it's not considered Bikso.
I have a question on it. Like the Rambam. If it's not a shtar, how you can Mekayim it?
The Rambam, that part fixed it. But the first part he says, Eid Echod, or 280 that's only made on their own signature. So now they know what is made on themselves and my friends, and my friend and themselves and me. So you don't have an each chasim and 280, which is as 1A. So they have din of 1A, 280 here in this, considered 2 individuals. So then they have to remember the edus. What happened if you have 2 people that sign the shtar and they don't remember the edus and the shtar na kos of tikunoi? So doesn't have din of shtar. But still, it's not the din of edus.
How you can make kind of edus if it never was a shtar? I understand, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, the Ramo.
Or the Ramo follows Rabbeinu Tam. We're going to see that Rabbeinu Tam, that when they signed it, they remembered it. So then there's no psul of Mipikso. That's called Eidinika. And if you make kind this Eidus, there's no Mipikso and it can work.
But I didn't say here, remember. It didn't say.
If you make kind that shtar, that whatever, that piece of paper with 280, you make kind it. So whatever it's written on it, we believe.
Wait a second, there's no Eidus here.
Even though it's not a din shtar, only in the higher, but in the proper setup. It's called shtar, it's not big so. Yes, Cholki.
We learned with Hannah Levy in my class,
Yes.
I don't know what. That the shtar is equal as a verified testimony.
Yes.
As even if they throw to the baby, as because that I don't need more
He said
conditions.
it's Adis, but it's not a star.
And they say that you don't need more conditions to do this shtar because it's already kayam. Like regularly say, people that sign in the paper, like maybe in a shtar, everything like here, the testimony and the sign, it's already from Moraita is the shtar meguyam, as we go according to Baruch Lapish.
Yeah, it's all what we say is true, but this one the stars look cool.
But this line like places. We say the Ramon like the places. If they remember the stars good enough, it's called a beer market.
בבית כשמגיע שטר, הם לא כאילו, הם לא יודעים על מה הם מדברים, הם בא לעשו כאילו, מחפשו מי האנשים, מי הם, מה הם עשו, כאילו, לא סתם מגיע שטר פתאום ככה הם בודקים, מדייקים,
Okay.
How come we can't hear?
He's stuck.
Or is he not talking?
I think he's looking in the.
I understand that, if they remember, they want you to do kilo. The still, beginning of Motelero. Beginning says if they remember.
Okay, I'm gonna read here the Kiva again, which follows the Chaim's Mahalach. And then we're gonna go back to the Nesivos and the Ketos. So, Agois, Kiva on top of the page 4. Kiva says, Shach Sifted, Motchilmi, Unikta Betzido, Ibu, and Tumim, Deinu, Nogea, and Machmot Shashukis. Rashi Rabbeinu Tam. ויש לו עם הדף שלו, ונוסף לנו. ספור הששק. It's right above this Ramon. The אפשר ספור הששק. The כל שנכתב בנוסח השטר. If the document was written in the format of a document, כל שנכתב בנוסח השטר, שם שטר. ומיד שחוסמו וכנך ינוס על בייס. When you have a nusach of a shtar, as a din of shtar, and when they sign, it becomes investigated right away. They sign it even before it reaches Beis Din. The Ainu, which means in Bishas Chasimo Eidus Malya, at the time of the signatures was a complete Eidus. How? The Zole Rabbeinu Tam, the other Eidus in Biksav, the Ave Lechasim Hashem Eidus. According to Rabbeinu Tam, when I sign, I remember. That moment could be related, forgot later on. But when I signed, it was good signature. When the witnesses remember, they can sign. So since when they signed, it was a good edus at that moment. So that's it. Then it starts right away flying, and it becomes also a result of it being investigated in court.
It's also
It's not like the Nesiva. The Nesiva says, we learned last week, that when it becomes a shtar, only when it reaches basic. He says, no. Since Rabbeinu Tam holds, and when I sign, and if I remember, it's edus. So he made it once it's edus, because I remember that moment it's edus, that moment becomes nechker.
I want to say it before that.
Shumochi b'chatimoson, nigmar eduson v'nikar shtamar. But according to Rashi, the problem, he said, Amar Rashi lo yishayich da v'kenechkero. It's not shayich to be investigated. Da v'nechker eduson, domi oilom, I'm going to say, never started as a edus. When they signed, never started as a testimony. Doim piksovo. V'lo me'ani midas mischayv da v'shluchom. It's not v'lo me'ani elo. The only way it works is midas mischayv, because it's not mipik sovom, it's mipik sovoy. It's not from the handwriting of the witnesses, rather they are the messengers of the debtor, the beneficiary, the beneficiary. So therefore, it's not mipik sovom, it's mipik sovoy. That's Rashi. The rule is the call the bish'as chasimoson as Hashem eidus. According to Rabbeinu Tam, when they signed, in the moment of the signing was Shem Eidus, so it becomes Chakira. According to Rashi, it's not Shaykh Nechadusam because it was never got to fix on. And the only way it works, that's a Mischai, because there's Shlichim. So how do you have Nechker? Can never be investigated. Shtat, Eidus. אבל מכל מוקר יש לעיין, אף רבינו תם, אבינו פיקסון. Why? אף רבינו תם, אבינו פיקסון. He wants to say that even רבינו תם doesn't suffer from. Why? מכל מוקר בשעת חסימוסון, היה מדין הגולה, כימן דויו שלו בפני בעל דין, חוסו בלילה. Okay, when they sign, they remember, it's only pixon, it's out as their memory. What is at night? What is in front of the Baal Din? Yet it works. Al kochon, like Lebachai. Even the Shem Shtar, all of Odiv Magoda Satan. Since there's the name of a Shtar, you bypass, it's not Agoda. The rules of Pixom in the world of Agoda, saying over to court. Here is not saying over to court, as a result, as a Shtar. Shtar is just something else. Veloba'inan kol din Eid, I don't need all the laws of Eidus Nai, Nebal Din, Pixovom, all those Eidim are out. Umimele gam Rashi man. So basically saying, like Reb Chaim HaLevi, that once is a shtar, it's not the shtar starts, since when you sign, you remember what the Rabbeinu Tam. Eidus is nechkero. Why the Eidus turns to nechkero? Because when they sign, they remember. So it's Eidus. Once it's Eidus, it becomes nechkero. But according to Rashi, that when they sign, it's not Eidus. And only will work because there's not many pixovim, there's a ksovoy of the shlichus of the debtor. So how it jumps to become nechero is not even edus. He says no. Even according to Rabbeinu Tam, truly remember so he can write, but it's at night, it's on the Baldin. Must be all those din edus fall out. All the dinim of Kabbalah edus fall out because he's not Kabbalah, it's not a god as edus here. It's shtar, doesn't know all those dinim. Therefore, it doesn't need all the dinim mailer right away. It jumps to the shtar and nechkos also the Rashi. So really, this is really the Chaim HaLevi's mahal. The Rambam holds when there's a din shtar, it's only in kinyonim. But if it's not kinyonim, you have all the pesulim of agoda, right? But when the shtar is a kinyan, shtar geting, there's a kiddushin, shtar kinyan avodim, shtar kinyan karka, kinyonim. It's a xeras all stars, and then you don't need all those dinim agoda seidus, etc. But and then the previous says, you're right, you don't need not Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, you don't need all that. And one of the proof of Chaim HaLevi was at night. How it works at night, right? It's xeras of shtar kinyan. He's saying xeras of all stories. It's not no get Rashi. basically the same line, the same group of Reb Chaim Alevi.
I want to
We talk about shtar, doesn't need all the dinim of Agoda Seidus, who can be at night, Aldin, can be Pixovom, all those things bypass. You don't need to be Eidus and then turns to a shtar. Then Amos started saying, when you have one aid and another aid, each one says, this is my handwriting, but they don't say Eidus and their friends, so each one is a single aid. That's Eidus, okay, so it's Eidus. You need to remember the Eidus. And the same thing, because it's not a shtar. When the Chaim Alevi said, it's a din shtar, you don't need din Eidus. When there's a shtar, what makes a shtar? You have two Eidim that sign the shtar, and we verify there's two Eidim. On each Chasim, we have two Eidim. But when on each Chasim, we have one Eid, this is my writing, I don't know about my friend, right? So it's like, Shte Eidim saying an Eidim. It's not a din shtar. That's why you have to remember. Maybe you don't need, okay. But definitely you have to remember, you have to have din Eidus. That's what the Rama says. But if you have two Eidim that sign on the shtar, even though you don't remember the Eidus, even though the shtar is a Kiddikunoi, there's two Eidus. That's what he said.
There's a difference between.
It's Eidus.
It's called shtar, but it doesn't have a din shtar.
Yes, but if it's not a din shtar, the cloud, so then you have to remember the Eidus. It's the same line. Now I'm going to jump into the sequence. It's in page. I want to hear you in a second. So anybody move to page 12 in the sequence. 20 more seconds.
I want to say this is not this. You want to say this is places, but this is doesn't say that.
Where did you say that's places? Where did you say that places?
I said it. Where is it? He meant your kind of me. I didn't know.
Where is it? He said that
on page you paid.
Yes, that's
I want to say.
That you do that, you got it.
Which page did you recite this?
What do you want to say, Epstein?
I want to say it's only Abinu Tam and now the Rashi, but this says, I studied it. The extent is 4 sheets, right? So he said Rashi, but the other sheet, the third sheet is not the same also. Not, I want to say.
According to Rashi, it's not Eidus. According to Abinu, it's Eidus.
You have other sheet that it says it is Tikkun Shtoros.
Yeah, but even not Tikkun Shtoros. If it is Tikkun, if you don't have Tikkun Shtoros.
No, but you have.
If you don't have Tikkun, the Ramos Shom is not Tikkun Shtoros. Not Tikkun Shtoros.
No, I'm talking about Kiveg.
Not the Mischayev, not the Tikkun Shtoros.
No, I'm talking about the Kiveg, not the
When you do have a shtar.
Well, no, yeah, I'm going to say it's a step before.
The Kiveg says, when I have a Musach shtar, I don't need all the dinim of Eidus.
I want to say something that's a step before.
The what?
He says, I don't need anything because any signs makes it, you don't need all this process.
Correct.
Wait a second, I have a step before. The Pesach says clearly, Pesach this about shtar, if it's Tikkun Shtoros, even without anything, it's still good enough.
It's going to have to be Eidus.
That's Eidus, you see a step before. I don't have to get this.
So because of that, the Dr. Moshe says, that part of Tosh holds like Kabinu Tam. He holds like Kabinu Tam. How becomes Eidus? Like Kabinu Tam.
Who says that?
The Dr. Moshe.
I didn't know that this Dr. Moshe.
Yeah, it's printed here.
One page.
Dr. Page Dalet. Page Dalet, it's 2 Dr. Moshe's here. He says the follows Kabinu Tam. When you look in Dr. Moshe page Dalet, it's a cotton ches when you the real time also so like Kabinu Tam. The mutter laid mi pixar. ולא כן יאבא כסדר הסתיו וכושר מעידים.
It's like one sheet.
Looks together. I want to go down and see the Sivas Malach and the choice. Okay, it explains the Rambam. So again, what we got here until now, we got here that when it's a shtar, we bypass all the problems of Agodas and all the laws of giving over Eidus. That process there has to be not at night, not from Aldin, has to be from your mouth and all that. It's only when you have laws of processing. When you have shtar, whatever the shtar makes it shtar. Rambam is only by Kinyonim, others is everywhere. There's a shtar, finished. There's no other laws. Comes in the Sivis, comes the Rambam and he says, when the witnesses themselves come and say, "This is our handwriting, we don't remember the story, we don't remember it at all." So the Rambam says, the shtar was never established.
Which study is talking, Kenyan or the Raya?
We don't know. We're going to talk about this. Very good.
No, the
The Rambam is going to talk about all stories.
Both can't.
He said clearly, "En anuzochim," he says, "Loho or mocha." Yes, he says both can. Okay, he's saying a good point. In Choyro, the rib is star alvo. Star alvo, you don't need Risha V'Chakira. Right? Star alvo, you don't need Risha V'Chakira. So midoraisa only star mecha works. Only star mecha has a din star that doesn't know the laws. And star alvo needs, but midarabona doesn't. So Lamaisim in the Rabbanon doesn't need all the din. But you have to kind of star. He's still in the kind of star. So the kind of star, the question is the din, the Rabbanon, that star needs to be mekuyom. Can you use the din Rabbanon and you bypass all the dinim of the people big sober, all the dinim of Agoda Seidos? You have to make a simple, you have to know what's going on. You have star kinyan, that the shemekah is without all the dinim of Agoda Seidos. You have star alvod that doesn't become nechera midoraisa as a part of big sober, right? But midarabonon, the rabbi said it's okay. That's one point. Second point is now that I need to mekayim the star, I need to establish star. I have star mekah. Who's there is a true star? The true star, you're right, but you need 18 to tell me about his true star. You need 18 Mekayim. So now if the 18 cannot Mekayim because they don't remember the story, and the star tells them, would there be a difference of the star midoraisa or star alvo midarabonon? If they don't remember, once Chacham says you need Mekayim the star, why the star works if it is a star? If the star is Mekuyom, star Mecher, star Kinyon works midoraisa, star alvo works midarabonon. Great. But what makes a star have to be kind? Now that you want to do dine kiyum.
Can you do nice?
One second, we said it, maybe you didn't. Now that you want to do a kiyum. And the Eidim say is our handwriting, we don't remember the Eidus. And we want to use a star document to remind us of the story. So we say, since the rabbi said, so you're not to lock the doors, so then what? Then the star can remind him? I said, no, they can't. The only goal is to create shah to preserve the information. But to valid the shah is not part of the takon. The whole thing goes back to the rules. That the Eidus don't become Eidus, to be Eidus down to big solo. And the Rambam says if the Eidus themselves don't remember, only at the end of it don't remember, they cannot use a shah to remind them. Big solo, it's Kershi.
They don't remember the situation, but they remember.
Even if it's star alvo. Even if it's star alvo, even if it's alvo, even though it's a long star. Because that's another way. In order to protect borrowers and loaners, you have to verify. Then we have to have the rules of verification.
But she just said that a star is not a star according to Rambam unless you have. But she just say that?
Yes,
unless you have a key.
Yes.
A star is not a star.
Correct. Cannot go with
it. It doesn't have a din of a star. It doesn't have a din of a star to be.
Going to. The star is a star. Omidoraisa, this mechanism.
Our din of star, our traces, that din of star, that the star, that not to get it out of the category of big something. That what Rosh Hashanah is saying?
No. To make it, no. There's two different things.
How do you explain the Rambam? How do you explain the Rambam?
I'm telling you. Let's say you make kind of star from another Edim or another star. I'm answering. I'm going to explain to you. If you have a star, then the star is Mekuyah. Not the Edim themselves. Other Edim or another star. The star works with the Dorais and Rabban. It depends. Mecher works with the Dorais. What works with the Rabban? That's one. Another thing. Another shot. How do I verify the signature? There I have the takon of the Rabbanon. If they say we remember the handwriting, but we don't remember the story at all. So can the star, the writings, can remind them?
No,
Rambam says no. Star Mecher works with the Torah. Doesn't have the dinim. Star one is a thing. When it's a star, but if we're not valid the star, you cannot give me information. It cannot give me Eidus. It's too big Sodom. Doesn't work. I'm Chayish. Doesn't matter if it's Doraisa Shtar or the Rabbanon Shtar. Doraisa the Rabbanon only says when the Eidim wrote it, and the Eidim signed, and when we verify the signatures, the Shtar works to collect Doraisa the Rabbanon. Shbech is Doraisa, Alvoy the Rabbanon. But here, to say that the Shtar can be verified when they don't remember the story, only that's the handwriting, the Shtar will remind them the story, and they can work through that. That's another shot. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It's weird, because you are saying.
And the only way that the Ravid argues, he just says because when you say, I don't remember that long, or it's a kamono, the reason I'm saying is a Shtar. Signatures means a Shtar. We're going to sit in the middle position of the Ktsoises soon.
It's weird, right? Because when you call someone to the baby and say to them, you don't show the book of the writing of the testimony. You only show the part of that. Is that your sign? And they say yes. As you remember that is your sign, but you don't remember the book.
Yes.
It's like weird.
I like what you said.
You remember that.
I like what you said. The I would say like you, I like very much. This was the first thought in my mind. That when the Eidim themselves come and say we don't remember the story, it's efficient. It's a deficiency.
It's real.
It's real, therefore it stinks. Therefore I say, hey, you don't remember the story? I don't remember the story. People remember things
you remember that
for 60 years.
What is the small Eidim Chadosh Chassid of Eidim? So there Rashi says because of the Chashem Ziyuf.
Right.
Yeah,
but the question is, the fact they don't remember, it's a problem. It's a question of it. How do you remember? So let's see the Nesivos. The Nesivos says, I am reading in the Nesivos page 12. I am Shachsit Koton Amabeshe Kosavtam Divra Rambam. The Kevan Shem Lefoneinu Ben Zoichim Ve'en Roi Loi Eloi Lam Pixor. Since they're in front of us, they don't remember. And they don't have the ability to give Eidus, is a big song. That's Pshat Rambam. The Rambam that says that they remember that's the handwriting. They recognize the handwriting. But they don't remember the story, so when we come to another Oloi, he means the big song means the writing cannot remind him. Rabbeinu Tam says the writing can remind you when you have ability to remember. I mean, the writings can become Eidus when you remember. But here, they only know their signatures, they don't remember the story, the Shtar. Is that Holoi? Yes, it picks up, yes.
Just wanted to add in the Rambam with the word Olam, just to smell the story. That's what it says.
The Rambam says, Avam Oilam Ladam. That's why he said the word Oilam.
It means one thing is say, I don't remember that. Then to say, we never, that's a different, that's like the smell.
Very strange, you're saying. Avam Oilam Ladam Oilam.
Saying I never remembered it. That's only saying something else. That's like that's
maybe you don't remember.
Okay, maybe the means Shem.
I'm saying I never remember. I don't ask.
But that's not the Yoshem. You understand? Bobby Yoshem.
We never knew. How do we know the numbers?
What did they say? Let's go to the same list. I knew it because I signed it, so I must have known it, but I don't remember it. That's one thing. You say, I never knew it.
But afterwards, the Rambam defines, I don't remember. When he says, Mekayim Shtar through others, and we don't care what they say, that's the word Mo'ilam. It could be the word Mo'ilam.
No, it says both.
And before, at the beginning, it could be Shema, like you said. But it's a good diuk, because the Ksois has a middle position. I remember I was called, I don't remember the story. As I said, a good deal, the word Mo'ilam. But let's see the Nesivos. The Nesivos says, he brings this shach. Why quote the Rambam is no good if they don't remember? Because if they don't remember, it means that the shtar needs a reminder. It's a big song. It says, those words are big ones. The Rambam here, Shtar works. Shtar Kenyan works. Also, Elaine, the sphere of Vivo Kusharole, even a place where you could remember and say, Lo machshirim b'shtam mitachachomim. Alvo, it works only because not to close the loan and not to close the doors, to have prosperity of monetary prosperity, not to lock the doors in front of borrowers. Even if you remember, it doesn't say, when you remember, I don't need a takon of chachom. Always need a chachom, means if you remember. So the Rambam doesn't follow the Rabbeinu Tam. So why the Shach shoves in? That you know why the Rambam says the Eidim, when they want to be kind their own handwriting, then you remember. Because the Rabbeinu Tam says when writing works, when you remember. But if you don't remember, the writing doesn't work. That's Rabbeinu Tam. It's not true. The Rambam doesn't hold Rabbeinu Tam. If you don't remember, it works. And it works on because Chachomim. You don't say, when I remember, I don't need Chachomim. When I do remember, when I remember, I don't need Chachomim. When I don't remember, I need Chachomim. What is it? It's not doing Rabbeinu Tam. What is it? And more. What happened if the witnesses died or became silent? It's kosher b'shtam. Then reads Chachomim. So Chachomim, what's the difference if the witnesses are silent, or they went away, or they don't remember? They're silent because they don't remember. It's not because they became youth, or silent because they are gone, went to another country. So the information from them, it still works. Chachom say not to lock the doors. It works.
But this says it doesn't say the Elam. If you cannot say it doesn't work with the text.
Rambam. Venihe. Over the Rambam. Venihe. The Kabbana Shach. What the Shach means? The goal of the rabbis was to make the shtat kosher.
In the middle of his shir.
Because they want to preserve information of loans in order to bring prosperity. Right? So they say we don't care, it's from the handwriting. Umitam, the reason, it says the main reason why you hear this Eliyahu, Rabbi Eliyahu, Mitam, the reason is the main witnesses will die, or really, when I give you money on loan, I rely on witnesses. I'll bring the witnesses. But people are afraid to lend money because maybe the witnesses will go away, they will die, something will happen, I won't have the proof. So in order to preserve the proof of the loan, in a normal circumstance that an agent will die or go away, so I need to have written down by me, so that doesn't go away, that's not late. The piece of paper is inanimate, it's by me, right? So the lenders are not afraid to lend money because you cannot rely on witnesses that have feet that can go away or die. But if it's a piece of paper, I can preserve my information, right? That's the goal. So comes the Nesivas, he makes differences. Mishu Mochi and Mochi B'Shtarak Shemei Soidim, he says, when the rabbis made a takona, the shtar works, it's only when the witnesses die or go away. For that, there was the Takos Chachomim. The fix in the rabbis for the goal of what? If they are dead or go away. When the witnesses are in front of us, the rabbis don't intervene. You have 80. Don't have to intervene. But we need Chisku we need the witnesses to remember. We have the ability to say. If they don't remember, smells. It doesn't say the word smells. That's all that's in the beginning. It doesn't say it. Just say it. It stays back to the original position. Puzzle. Now peaks up. It's a handwriting. There's no takon chachomim on this. This means if it is. What does he say? He's saying the goal of Chatarachim was what? To preserve the information of the loaner of the people who give loans and a normal circumstance of death or going away. But if the witnesses are around, they don't need the Chachamim to intervene. So it goes back to the original law of the Torah that starts with Big Sodom.
No,
but one second, let's make a jump now. But Shtar Mecher, woohoo! Shtar Mecher, that it works with the Oraisa. Shtar Mecher that works with the Oraisa. Shtar Kinyan. Right. Shtar Kinyan. That works with the Oraisa.
You don't need them to remember.
I don't need them to remember. So even the witnesses, the choila, if the witnesses are here and don't remember,
Why?
should be good.
Why?
And the Rambam says lo no mecher. So the mecher has to be a mecher of a raya, or be mecher, or be shtar kinyan of mecher. So if the witnesses are here, they don't remember. Now we're going to stop. No, that's the normal analysis from the first part of the Nesivis. You need the Nesivis to speak more. We have a whole 2 columns on the Nesivis. The Shach concludes by saying, listen what he says. The afil man estirale the sharmoy midoraisa. Even those who hold, we said, okay, shtar midorabonon, that's shtar raya. According to the Rambam, what we're going to do, shtar kinyan works midoraisa. The Shach says not only by shtar kinyan that it works midoraisa, according to the Rambam, according to all the other Rishonim that all stars midoraisa. If the witnesses are here don't remember, it's bad news. No good. Gam Kimbain, and also we need Kshenefonei, who they're in front of us. Shiuroim Leogi, who have the ability to say. The oil Logi, there should be proper ability to say. Why? Apparently it's hard what the Rav Shach said. The Machim Noraisa, Ben Meisa Eidim, Ben Elefonei, what's the difference from the Torah? The one is that dead, or the one that don't remember. Doesn't matter. Shtar is a magic. Doesn't have all the laws of Agoda Seidus. Right? Like the Kivega says, it can be at night, you know, from Aldin. It's magic. That's what Kivega, magic. Right? Magic. Works everywhere, magic. That's what Chaim Alevi said magic by Shtar Kinyan. All the Rishonim would say magic, but also it's magic. You don't get us. I've already doesn't need all the dinim of giving over a testimony, right? So that's all I care. The witnesses are here, or they're dead, or they're forgot, or they run away. It's all the same. Works matter. Stop bypasses. He says he didn't get the point. Nire looks like that time. The reason is you're not doing it right. It's a habit, right? Nire that time. The reason is the whole chazino the das Rabbeinu Tam. I probably understand much better, right? The whole chazino the das Rabbeinu Tam. We see Kote Rabbeinu Tam. The Bipiksom Kosher like Rabbeinu Tam says. There's no problem Piksovim if you remember at the moment you wrote. Wait a second. But when you wrote, there's not a good say this when it reaches base in that. This is where the Kivege and the Nesiva split. Kivege says magic. Right? If it's magic, so why the Rambam says you need to remember? Does it make sense? And the Shach learns, and even all the Rishonim learns, everything's with Oraisa. The witness of the Rambam is right. La Lachat that the Eidim need to remember. They don't remember his house. He says, why? If it's magic, magic. You know, it can be at night. It can be in Shalom B'fnei Ba'adim. It can be, doesn't have the big song. We don't care. He says, no. When the magic works, when it reaches the court. That's what he said. Because man, when the testimony is a testimony, actually, when he writes, it's not the testimony yet. You get the court. It's something in your house. You can erase. What's the proof? You can erase. You can dump it in the toilet. You can change. If it's Eidos, you can't change. Right? Must be when the Eidos is an Eidos when it reaches base. Because Mokom that we learned last week. Because Mokom now the Eidos at Chokes have the base. When the Eidos is Eidos, only when it reaches base. Because not Joey Box having the base. As long they write, come to court. You can retract. The big someone Lord in PM, right now with my mouth. My mouth only becomes when I come to court. And then I cannot change. When I speak in the streets, I can say what I want. Yes, became under my eating the pen. When I give a testimony in the mouth, it has to be in front of the basin. The koidim shabaksal, before the writing comes to court, like outside of the basin. The Eidos Chutz the base, it's not a testimony at all. Ochenam, you also hear the writings. So you don't pick so when you give a testimony upon the writings, by you need the writings in court. You base. Oh, goes and it comes back. You can kosher. Nay, those true that those who argue on the holds all stores midoraisa. The stars will be das any document in the knowledge of the debtor for the beneficiary of the for the benefit of the beneficiary. Kosher, the Ramban of the Rishonim, it's kosher. After the big is kosher, even though it's alone, even though it's not a shtakin, it's not even though it's a big sobo, stop bypasses everything. Magic. He says, however, when the magic works, when it reaches base. How do we know that Agode very close to television? How do we know it's Agode before it comes to court? You need the rabbis to intervene. No. This is the rabbit. The rabbit of the Nesivus, he says, everybody needs the rabbis. Depends where. Dilma, maybe, Bain and Dal, Kushatala Basin. For us, we got a big song like that got to be finished when it reaches Basin. Like any big song that's Rabbeinu Tam, Bain and Dal, Kushatala Basin. And don't say there's a posuk. By Jeremiah, Hashem says, Shtar will hold for a long time. The Mashra can infer from that, Shtar Kosher Filu Mesoidim, that Shtar is a long time, he's even the witnesses are dead. The same is that's not true. I can establish the verse. When he's got amazing, when it works for many years from now, when it came to court, but if it's in my house, and if it came to court, and if there's not an Eidos yet. The cave and Shabbat started the basin, when it never came. Oh, that's what you have to say, you always have the rabbis intervene. That's what the Shach holds. This is true. You hear this? This is the thesis of the Nesivus. It's very serious. You know why it's very serious? Because Allah is like, oh, that's it. This is Allah. Allah what the Nesivus says, it is Allah. And he says like this. The true is so. The Midoraisa from the Torah, La Veshtar Kenechol Edu Basin from the Torah when the Shtar is considered established. Rabbi Yoshua from the Torah when the Shtar, the document is established, only when it reaches court. Rak B'Shosha Bashtar Basin, only when it comes to court. We know if the Shtar was burnt or coffee fell on it and it's blur, I can reconstruct another Shtar. It's the Raisa Rabbanon. It's rabbinic. All the kaimon, now that we know established. The kol shtar we're going to do is a basic mishas chasima. Every shtar from the time of the signatures, then it becomes a shtar. Urak mitakodas chachomim. It's only from the fixing of the rabbis. Last week we attacked the Chaim Alevi. He brought a Gemara. The Gemara says in Sanhedrin Aflamed Beis. Omar Abchanino, Dvar Toiro, Evi Eilus Ni Drish of Chakira. Shtar Zadosh no Drish of Chakira. If you don't have Zman, that's Chakira. The Chachomim say nothing on them. They say only Drish of Chakira. Right? So we ask those who hold every Shtar Midoraisa, even Shtar Ho. How do you explain this Gemara? The answer is no. Shtar Midoraisa is when it reaches court, it works Midoraisa. But before it comes to court, in the Rabbanon. Or the rabbi said, certain parts of the rabbis, they say you don't need Zman, you don't need Rishon Hakira. But Mitzad, Bipik Sovom, you don't have that problem because Midoraisa works, which means it's the Rabbon and Doraisa mixed here. It's not all Doraisa.
Review it again.
Last week we asked that those who hold Shtar works with Doraisa and Shtar Al-Ho, the Gemara says, Omar Abchanin et Bar Toivo, Eidi Machazor Shtar et Bar Toivo.
It was a cash, it's missing this dish of Akiva. My answer is there
because of Omar Abchanin. Rolle Gemara, Omar Adit Bar Toivo Dinam Omanos. Wege de Rosh B'Rish of Hakiva. But we don't need Rish of Hakiva by Momono is not to lock the doors. So he said, what do you mean? Shtar Al-Ho is Midoraisa. And it says, yes, what Bechin and what point? When it reaches court, it works Midoraisa. Mishas Chasim is the Rabbanon. The Rish of Hakira, Chachamim say you don't need Midoraisa.
You don't need this.
So when they say Shtar works Midoraisa, also it's in Shtar Al-Ho, doesn't mean that those know the Rabbanon they're involved. Certain parts you need the Rabbanon. The rabbis are raised to Yeshiva Hakira. The rabbis are raised that Mishas Chasima can work. Depends. In this subject of Bipik Savam, the rabbi says Shtar bypasses it. No, nothing like that. At that point, at that point, the Rambam holds, the rabbis and other Shitas holds Midoraisa. When it comes to court, it works Midoraisa, bypass the Bipik Savam. But before it comes to court, just Chasim. Or when it comes to court, what about the Yeshiva Hakir? The basically investigated, or they don't have an investigation. That's the rabbi's intervention. Let's read again. This is 2, 4, 6 lines on the top and the left column. These are true. This is the scenes. This is true. The midoraisa labe ashtar kenechidus bebeizin rak beshor shebo ashtar bebeizin. From the Torah, when the shtar becomes a shtar from the Torah and it bypasses all the rules of the Piksavam and Eidus, when it reaches court. V'od the kaim alon, the kol shtar, all stories, avenir kedusha beizin b'shas chasima, that in the signature it's already a shtar. Uram is only from the rabbis fixing. The Shem and Musa Eidi, maybe the witnesses will die. Before it reaches court to be established, they will die between the writings and it comes to court. I wrote the shtar, I bought the house, I don't know, whatever it is, the loan, and I left my house. By the time we went to a fight, or you request a loan, it was 10 years later, and already the 18 died, and only then I brought it to court. And the 18 died between the signing and coming to court. What do I do? The rabbi said, don't worry, we'll fix that. The Torah only fixes it when it comes to court. But and they will be alive then. So it's like Rabbeinu Tam, since they're alive and they remember the stars, there's no problem. Or because they remember because it works. Or it works because we don't care about it. It's a bypass. It's star bypass. But before it reaches the court, it's not a star yet. Midoraisa. Right? Like Rabbeinu Tam, when he says, well, remember, it's no problem big Sovam, but only when is you big Sovam is a Ksav, when it's Eidus, be big Ksav that it works. If you remember, reaches the court. So also shtar, he wants to say shtar, when a shtar becomes a shtar, even only when it comes to a kira, he says when you sign, if you have not, when you sign, it's midoraisa. You want to say no, shtar is only when midoraisa, even those who old shtar is midoraisa when he reaches court. Before he reaches court, it's only the rabbono. And why? And only the witnesses are here. No good. She says, I'm Rabbanon. Why? Because maybe the witnesses will die. Because you're living amazing. Oh, now this is the punchline. After you can see.
No one brought it right.
Therefore, the Shach says, the Torah didn't say the kosher. If the witnesses have the ability to say the testimony themselves and are alive, if they're dead, if they're dead and the shtar reaches Bezdin,
it's possible.
It's possible because they're all like Rabbeinu Tam. You need to have the witnesses. Boy Lebila. The Rambam holds shtar bypasses by Kinyon. By Rai is only the Rambam. Those who hold stories, works with the Raisa, they're all like Rabbeinu Tam. So if they Arim, so therefore when the shtar becomes a shtar, when it reaches Bezdin, like any Eidus. Only when it reaches Bezdin. Because Rambam now holds only Shtar, Kinyan works with the Raisa. It's not like that's like in Kived. Shtar bypass also can become a Shtar with the Raisa even when you sign. Shtar it's just out of the picture. It's Xerasakos. But he holds this is the Rambam in Shtar Kinyan, and Rabbi Kiva holds in all stories as magic. But then he says no. According to the Shach, he says Pshat is that those who hold old shtarot works midoraisa, they hold like Rabbeinu Tam. That since mitzad eidus midoraisa could be an eidus if they didn't remember, and they have to remember until it reaches Bezdin. So when it reaches Bezdin, they remember. There's no problem big sober. Then it becomes nechkerov midoraisa and it works midoraisa. But what happened if they die before it reaches court? It's possible, but it only works for the Rabbanon. That's what he says. ולא חצרי לרשע. דרחמון לא איכשהו בשטר פיקסובם, רק כשבונים להגיד, only when you have the ability to say. שושו בשטר לבייזים. בימי סועדים קודם שבאים, they die before it reaches court, פוסל. ורק מתארחם קוש כשמייסו, that's only when they die, the rabbi said it works. But when they forgot, they're front of us and they forgot the dumbbells. אבל כשהם לפנינו שושו בשטר לבייזים, ואין רואים להגיד, פוסל, דעל זה, לתכון שחרום, here the rabbi didn't fix. And I want to say, Tom, like you, Yecheskel said, beautiful. It's not a steer to this. Chacham said, because why did he intervene when you're there? You remember? Because it stinks. Now they don't need to intervene. It says stays the din dorais. They intervene because it also stinks. I don't remember. So they didn't intervene again. So what we gain? We say that the Sivas learns that the Rambam that says that the 18 didn't remember. Why the 18 didn't, they need to remember. If they don't remember, it doesn't work. The Rambam does a whole like Rabbeinu Tam. So why the 18 didn't remember? The Rambam holds Tachonas Chachomim. So why with Tachonas Chachom they didn't remember? It's very simple. Because Tachonas Chachom only fix if they die or they gone. But if they hear, they don't remember, the rabbis don't intervene. So there was no Tachonas Chachom. And those who hold that Shtar works with Doraisa, but they also agree, they all like Rabbeinu Tam. Why Shtoros works with Doraisa, even Shtar why works with Doraisa? Because like Rabbeinu Tam, the Roy Lagi. But even according to Rabbeinu Tam, when the Eidus Shtar becomes a Shtar, because it's Eidus. When the Eidus, which will turn to a Shtar, becomes an Eidus, only in Beis. So only then the Doraisa works. But before it reaches Beis, you need Chacham to intervene. And when they intervene, only if they die. Or they want to go away. But if you're there alive, you don't remember, the rabbis didn't intervene. It's summarized. The Rambam holds, Shtar Midoraisa only works by Kiyoni. Shtar Alvon proves us midarabono. When the rabbis fix that it works, only when the Eidim are dead or gone or forgot or gone. But when they are here and they forgot, only Chacham didn't intervene. And even those who hold that Shtar works midoraisa, even by Alvon, it's only when it reaches Beis, he shoves those Rishonim with Rabbeinu Tam. So it's like Eidus, and the Eidus turns to a Shtar. When you have that Zeras HaKod, Eidus turns to a Shtar, when it reaches Beis, and you're Roy Lagi, but when you're not Roy Lagi, at that time, Chacham didn't help you. When they help you, it works with Shas Chasima. Chacham said, because they wanted if the person dies or they said they are gone or died, it works with the Rabbanon. And when it reaches Beis, it works with Doraisa only if they roll off, if they roll Lagi, Chacham didn't intervene.
I have to ask.
So after you roll their own shores and they won't go to right. No, but just listening to his word, I'm not going to the just according to what he said.
Okay, it's not here, but they didn't make it the comment, they don't remember. Okay, it's a big chiddush. Not only it's a big chiddush, we never heard of it. The Rambam said, if you don't understand this, you don't understand the din of the Mamara, right and left. The same. This is what he meant.
Right. I don't think we're connected.
Okay. Good.
Let's read the choice, and then we'll make a decision what's the best job.
I'm sure the Rambam said like
Now that time is late, it's already 1:33. People are hungry, not hungry, but they're hungry to what? They're hungry to what? We can learn from them.
People are hungry.
the Rambam said Yotzei Beis.
No, I'm saying was that the choice comes from a middle position, and what you asked Moshe, let's see if you'll be satisfied with the choice. Choice, the next piece. Choice.
Looks like that's what the Rambam meant.
That's what the Shach says.
Yeah.
No, I'm asking the Roshiva.
That's what the Rambam. Let's see. After we're going to read the Rambam, the choice of Shach. And you can medite the word lo'olam, right? I don't remember the oilam, I don't remember at all. We'll see the level of remembering. They may make it easier for us, and inside Extois is the best shot. Let's see. Anil's daiti, the second paragraph. Nire mashkosa v'ramba. See, Extois simen involves see cotton yud, second paragraph. According to my knowledge, it looks to me what shot meramba. Mashkosa v'ramba. Ad shiskilu do so, they have to remember the testimony. If they don't remember, they're like dead. He says, I don't need them to remember the loan specifically. Or they saw the giving over of the money. He makes three levels. One is, this is my handwriting and I remember the loan. Middle position, this is my handwriting, I don't remember the loan, but I remember I was called to sign. The debtor called me in. El afilu shezochu es chasimosom. They remember the signatures. Shechosma they tzivu aloive, and they sign because the command of the debtor, the lender, because this will be for the beneficiary of the for the debting the borrower. Tzivu aloive. So because of nothing. They came and the nishtabe bashtar since he obligated himself to debt himself with this document, even though they didn't see the loan, but they saw the debting willing to debt. After Pisha lo ilofo, even though they didn't loan, they came and jabashtar Pisha lo ilofo kamevu, it works. And came on now, voma mes mamish alvo. Velo yosi aramam la puke. The Rambam only came to exclude. Ela imobu ksayodeinu ze. Hear this, Rabbi Fenster? This is our handwriting. They don't remember any loan. They don't remember at all. The word oilom, klal. They don't remember at all. The subject of the shtar. Now you understand what the word oilom, right? It fits. Klal, inyan l'shtar. Ech shechosma, they sign. They tzivu aloive through the command of the debtor, the borrower. Bazeach ukecheresh, and this is like kecheresh. But izochu tzivui aloi belachta magaru alvoi mamish. So you can't make sechim between amono and that. Amono means everything is great. Stop. So let's go. What he saying? He's saying really the Rambam doesn't argue straight head to head against the guy. Well, the Rambam says that this is a handwriting. We don't remember the loan. It's like anusim ktanim. That there's no kiyum at all. They totally crush and demolish the shtar. Only when they say, this is our handwriting, and we don't remember nothing. We don't remember that we were called to sign, we don't nothing. We just recognize our signatures. We don't remember nothing of the story. So then the Rav says, as he's saying, you're crushing the shtar. But when they say, this is our handwriting, and we remember something, we were called, I remember he called us to sign, but I don't remember nothing about the loan. I don't remember nothing about the sale. It says there, that's very good. I'm not fighting the shtar.
Is that like the Ramban?
What?
Like the Ramban does it in Israel. Shluchim. Loshon lekidei, like Shluchim. They came Shluchim. Loshon lekidei, Loshon Shluchim.
He said it's enough. It's a shtar.
Why?
It's Eidus that there's a shtar.
No, because why? Because the shtar.
Because the shtar.
Because the shtar doesn't do
no, he brings the Shulchan Aruch Siman Man. Brings. And afilu shezoch says the Moshe Chosma they tzivu yasagi leka. What's the raya? The kevan in nishtabe b'shtar b'shloi lovo kamevu b'siman man. And Siman man, the Shulchan Aruch says, if somebody debts himself. He says, I owe money. And doing this sword, and he's saying he's debting himself, but he owes money. He owes the money, even though he didn't see no money loan, but he debt himself. It works as Oidoy, Disa, whatever how it works. He didn't know that. That's a shop, whatever that. But he has to say Chiyu, saying that shibud of the loive, it's seeing the shibud of the shtar. So the essence of shtar is the shibud of the loive. The loan, it's the reality is just technical. But what is the shtar is about? To create shibud of the debtor for the beneficiary of the benefit for the benefit of the beneficiary. So the loiva is deading himself. Says, lend me money, don't worry, I'm deading myself, that I'm going to create a shtar proof against me for you, and you will benefit. Even also, that's what the Eidim is saying. The Eidim are saying, we saw him saying, that's Simon Mem, or we saw him saying and asking us a sign. So they don't need to remember the loan, they don't need to see the loan. They saw the essence. So there the Rambam says, the Rambam wants to fuke that. If they say, we were called to the lawyer, and he asked the debtor, they call us a sign, the debtor is suffered the beneficiary of that. I said, okay, that's enough. They didn't see the transferring of the money, they don't need all that. But when he says, I don't remember nothing, I don't remember he called us, I don't remember it was alone, and I only recognize my handwriting. No, they said not as we recognize our handwriting. But they didn't see the debtor obligating himself. They're not giving a testimony. So they're not giving a testimony on a loan. So that's what the Rambam says. The Rambam wants the mafkia. That's saying, if they say there's a handwriting, but we didn't see none of the loan, bichla means we didn't see even Dasam Ischayev here. So then it's not a shtar. They say it's not a shtar. They don't say Dasam Ischayev here. It's just a signature. Says it's Eidus and the Viksovam. So then the shtar, they're not giving Eidus on the loan. Right? And now the shtar becomes a shtar when you're Mekayim it. But when it's not Mekuyam, they're just saying that's handwriting, they're not saying nothing about Denning, that they saw Eidus and Denning. That he wants to say, they basically say, there's no shtar. It's like Ktani Manusim Eidus. In that sense, either it's Mekum by somebody else, I don't care what they say. If it's not Mekum only through them, they're destroying the stars, and therefore they believe. That's right. So 1 second. So why the Rambam says Anem Kechelshi? If they don't remember, it's like Chershi, they cannot use the star to give the names. So what did the Ktsois add to the Nesivis and to the Kivhege and Chaim Alevi, that line which is Xerat Sakosu? The Rambam holds that the Shtar Alvo and Shtar Mecher, if it's Feraye, is Takonas Chachom. But you need to Mekayim it. It's a din in Kiyum. That Yutches, Ksaga Deinu Anusim. The problem Kiyum is not a problem with defining a Shtar. We're not in the parish of defining what a Shtar is a Shtar. Shtar works with the Rabbonon. No problem, Big Sovo. The Rabbonon, Takonas Hashuk, Takonas Haloicho, the Kino Dennis Ifne Loivi, not to lock the door from borrowers. That's one thing. Now we talk about the laws of Kiyum. I told you when we started the Masechet, when we started this month, right? I said we're not going to the heart. First we talk about Kiyum. You have to establish a shtar. And I said now we start in the sugya of the lay. What is a shtar? Right? The Ktsoy says the subject here is not what is a shtar. And our shtar bypass the laws of Agoda Seidus and Balailo. That's not a subject. You're right. Here we talk about when the Eidim say Ksav Yodeinu, but the wrong member, is it Doime Ta'anusi? Or it's a Doime to Amana? What is it? So the Rambam holds like Anusi. What does it mean? Because the Rambam holds, they say we only remember that we only recognize our signature. We don't remember us signing with a debt with the das of the Mischai of the debtor. That we don't remember. Because they never need to see the loan. That's who wants the mafia. When you say your handwriting, you're destroying the shtar. He says, not a shtar. Now, how a shtar works? Why is it Pik Sovam? What was it? The Nesivis asked. The Kasha was, the Ramde, Shach says the problem is Pik Sovam if they don't remember. If they themselves come and they don't remember, they don't remember, it's with Pik Sovam. He says, it's a tamua. What I care is going like an if it's started the bypassing the Chachomim, I don't care, they don't remember. He says, no, Chachom only fix if they dead or gone. If they don't remember, Chachom never fix. This was the mahalach of the Shach. And also, according to the Rambam, the rabbis didn't fix the works if they don't remember. But the Ktsois is saying, if they don't remember, the Das HaMischayev, so basically they're saying there's no shtar. They're saying there's no star. They're not saying there's a star, but we want to fight it. They're saying there's no star. I don't see there was never a star, so there was a pursuit in the Etzem. So it was never started as a star. So, according to this, we have to rip it. It's not only no hakir, they have to actually rip it.
If they signed it,
Not even star.
they signed it. That the thing
They're
with
saying not even star.
it happened because that's why we're signing it. It happened. We wouldn't have signed it if it didn't happen. Right? If it didn't happen. Right? What's the purpose of the signature? What did it accomplish?
Maybe it's a forgery. It's a forgery.
Okay, but
Your speakerphone is on, Ben.
Okay, that could be a possibility, but
So why have to get the simon? Say because like the Kirega said, the Shtech is Chazok and Shtech so Shtukus. Not to get the simon. Why the choice is the Toby simon? It will not simon. Well, the Shtech was Shtukus. Have to get the simon.
That's the answer. The whole of the Nesivus started by saying, if the Eidim are here and they don't remember, what's the difference between silent or dead Eidim, or the Eidim are here and they don't remember? That was a kasha. So he said, Tachonos Chachomim. The Chachomim were not metaken only when they're dead or gone. The Ktsois fights this kasha. That's the point. He's saying, what are you asking? What's in between if they're dead or gone? Or they say they don't remember, says it's worse. Because when they come and they say they don't remember, they say there was no Dasam Yisrael.
They don't remember at all.
What?
They don't remember at all.
At all. So basically they're saying, we only recognize our signatures, but there was no Dasam Yisrael, there's no star, or they don't remember there's Dasam Yisrael. So they don't remember star. So on that, the Nesivos was asking, okay, even though I don't have Dasam Yisrael, which is saying no star, and they find a star, but if they are dead or gone, Chacham fixed, which is a good star. Good star, but they need a kill. I'm just trying to figure out if the Ktsois really answer this kasha. Kasha of the Nesivus was that even though if the Eidim are dead or gone, Chacham said Shtar works be'etzem. So now if they don't remember why the Shtar works, why the Shtar cannot work.
So we said there's no Tachonos Chachomim if they're
So we said there's no Chachomim if they don't remember.
They're right here.
They're right here. And the Ktsois says no, it's not a question of if a Shtar or not a Shtar. It's a question of a kiyum of a Shtar. And then when they said there's no Dasam Yisrael, they say there's no star. They find a star. There's Eidos that say there's no star.
They didn't say the word Q.
So according to that, I'm actually in my mind I'm thinking the Ktsois is right, and that's why you started explaining. Because the subject matter is Q star. It's not if the star, what star makes a star. In my mind is that the Nesivus is mixing boxes. We have to be clear. I'm vulnerable to this because I see he's mixing boxes. Because what was the whole kasha of the Nesivus? You see, they asked, what's the difference if the Eidim are dead or gone? Chacham says Shtar works. So if the Eidim are here and they're gone because the memory is gone, Tachonos Chachomim. So you're right. It is a Shtar, but you need a kiyum. It's not a question of Shtar and not a Shtar. Question is, Eidim that are here and they say don't remember, is it kiyum or not? Then once again, the Ravid says it's a kiyum, and I don't believe in the part I don't remember. Once I say it's a handwriting, I accept, and if I don't remember, I don't accept it, destroy. It's a kiyum. And the Rambam holds no kiyum. So what are you saying? And the Chodam Yishtar works with the Rabbanim. The Ktsois are also the same. The Shach is very clear. The Ktsois is very clear. The Ktsois is trying to explain that the Rambam that's saying that in Zekiyum, he's fighting the Ravid. The Ravid says, no, when they say Ksav Yoteinu, it's Zekiyum, and when they say they don't remember, it's like say Anusi. And the Ktsois says, why is like Anusi? That the Shtar not a Shtar? Because he wants them up here, they say there's no Dasam Yisrael, he says there's no Shtar. They emptied out the shtar. So they find the shtar. That's the story. I understand that. But wasn't the Siva saying, no, you know what's the pasul of when the Eidim say, don't remember, it's a pasul piksavam, which is a pasul in the group of the shtar. It says, why is it pasul in the group? It says, Takanas Chachamim, I don't care. There's no Chachamim didn't fix only when the Eidim are dead or gone. But because it's not a question of the pasul in the group of the shtar. It's a pasul. It's a question of do you have a kim or not? You're mixing. No. What are you saying? So you're saying, but when the Eidim are dead or the Eidim are nishtat are gone, said like a made a shtat. But when the Eidim are here, and I remember, it's not a pasul. It's not a problem in kiyum. It's a problem. There's no shtat. Because now that's not what the Rambam is saying. The Rambam is saying, it's a question. But what the Rambam's language? Lo yiskay mashtat. This is not a shtat. It's a problem in kiyum. It's mixing boxes. I don't know what the Siva is saying. I mean, Paul was so excited in the Siva. The Siva doesn't make sense to me.
But not sure the Rambam says, all you got to say, you're to the basement. The shtat in basement. Talk about the situation here.
And he says, and then when he says, "Lo yiskay mashtat." Lo yiskay mashtat.
There's only a mean in the soup of basement. In the basement, yiskay mashtat.
One second. So really, the Tnuna, my complaint is not against the Messias. My complaint is against the Shach. The Shach learned when the Rambam says, Lo yiskay mashtat, shekosa vatam livra Rambam, reading the beginning of the Messias quotes the Shach. Shekosa vatam livra Rambam, the kimashim lefoneinu, zoichim v'reim, and Bixol means it's a chisol and it's a shtar. There's a kasha, why? It's a kolas chachom, it says chachom and ametakim. It's only upon the kshak, but the kshak doesn't make sense. The pasul of the Rambam is not a pasul in the shtar. Pasul in the kiyum. That's what the Ravid says. I'm not crushing the shtar. I'm saying the shtar, and I want to external define it, like a moment. And the Kshoi says no. You're fighting this like a nusim. Why? Because I'm saying there was no das on Israel. No oil.
You should be holding big
okay.
If
you ask me what my son was said before in Moshe, yes, it makes to me sense that the Ksois is right. The Shach is weird. Because Shach is learning that when Eidim are here, they don't remember, there's not a Pasul in Kiyum. There's a Pasul, there's no Shtar. The Shtar becomes possibly big summer.
Because you all like
because the Tchanas Chachomim and Chachomim and Metakim when there's a Pasul in the Guf. And there's no Sugya, there's a Pasul in the Guf. And the process of the lotion of the Rambam, they don't remember at all. It's not a miskayim. It's all in key. That's what the Ravid says. What do you mean? It is a key. I'm reading the language of Shleimer. Lo miskayim mashtar, he says.
Wait a second. Yes. You're not talking about the Rambam. I'm talking about the Ramo. The Ramo is like Benutam. He says the Shach is not on the Ramo.
No.
Wait a second. The Shach is on the Ramo.
No.
The Ramo is not Benutam.
No, that's not true. Look in the language. I am Shach shekosavtam לדברי הרמב"ם. דברי הרמב"ם. יש לו ברמב"ם. יש לו ברמב"ם. זה לא רמב"ם. יש לו ברמב"ם.
But could be that the Shach is saying that he don't consider the star as a star because the testimony didn't make it you and because we don't have it's not a star, but have it only a piece of paper.
So they find the star by saying the star is not a star. That's the choice. And the Siva says when they hear and they don't remember, it destroys the star from inside. The star is crumbling from inside.
But it's not the star.
That's what's not a key. Not because the star is crumbling. It's more of a perception. It's not a shot. Okay. Atkan Muslish. Want to speak about Moses, Rabbi Yosef, Siyata Dishma. By the way, next week we're going to start the sugya of Ed Nasadayim. It's papers. Ed Nasadayim. It's page 21b. A witness can become a judge. Okay, we have to send papers. There's papers. Here, I have a paper. You can give it out. Where's my paper myself? Here's a paper. Rabbi, you can pick your shirt or or you can set it up.
Benjamin will send it to us, right?
Which Rambam?
This is Aloch Dalet, this is Aloch Aleph. We shall do Aloch Aleph.
Shmuz.
Big hit.
Aloch Aleph. It is in base. That in the base himself.
No, that's what he said. Aloch Aleph. I'm reading what it says Aloch Aleph.
No, but in base.
No, Dalet is oil Vatov. Dalet is a continuation of Aloch Aleph. Aloch Aleph says, someone signed the shtar. He come to testify in his writing, the he recognizes his writing, but he doesn't remember Eidu's Klal. That's the number. That is a continuation of it. Yes. No. Look, it's Aleph and Dalet is the same. Oil Vadov Ken is a continuation of Aleph. Look inside.
One at the beginning, not the end.
I'm talking about this aloha that you don't remember. Oil Vadov okay, but it's kind of much time. And aloha says you're not allowed to give eidus. There's a big summer. And aloha that says another implication. There's no kiyum on it. There's two different things. Okay. So he learns why there's no kiyum, because you're not allowed to give an eidus, because it's big summer, it's chizon the shtar. That's the way the Shach learned. And the Siva explains the Shach. It's not the Pashas. The Pashas like the Shach. Okay, Adka. Siyata Nishma. I want to talk about Pashos Pinchas. Pashos Pinchas. We spoke about that the young boys went to a trip. They went outside of the clouds of glory. They went to areas where they can seduce themselves, and they're part of the problem. Now I want to talk about Mitzad Bilam. Bilam's advice was to destroy the Jewish family. I want to explain, this is very important for you guys, unmarried guys, single guys. Most religious kids stay religious, even though they have some problems, have desires, they don't want to follow the rules when they're young, because they don't understand fully. The Kabbalah from Malchus Shamayim is not strong by them. Just a yoke of another mitzvah, that Osam Kellen says. But why most religious kids stay religious? Society. When you have a strong bond of a family, familia. I used to say, I remember when I was a young boy, I learned in American Mir Yeshiva. And people used to tell us, that a lot of non-religious Jewish kids, or those who fell off on the way, married Italian girls. Why? Because Italians are very similar to the Jews. That's what they said. There's a boy. That they have familia, they have family, they have a family power. Family mafia. Okay. So they said it's very similar. And that's it. So most religious kids don't break from their path of parents training them. It's because they have what to lose. What to gain and what to lose, the gain is more than what to lose. They gain the love and care, the power of the family, and losing, doing what they want. They lose that. So they don't want to lose. The other day I had a guy came, listen, I'm debating, I'm doubting to go to the army or not. So what's wrong? Go to the army. Not learning, told you. No, but I don't want to lose my family, my power, my Haredi ground. That's a normal way. More than that, my father, bless his memory, used to explain that if somebody has a shalom, a daughter that strays away, goes away. There's a boyfriend, she's now another guy. How do you unhook her from that guy? How do you unhook her? She says, you look in the story in the Torah about Dinah. How Yaakov unhooked Dinah from Shem ben Chamoy, that how he unhooked her was a whole story. First was Metamaha, and then he took to her heart. Yeah, you have to work a lot out. And what he told her, listen, your father is sitting in a shack, in a sukkos. He spent a lot of money to buy a small little property next to Shem. And my father's the head of the city. You can have all this land. Means you're going to get more by me than by your father. How Yaakov Avinu unhooked Dinah from Shem? They killed everyone. And even after they killed, she didn't want to leave. So Shimon had to promise her. She said, listen, okay, you killed everyone, but who's going to marry me? I'm a second-hand bad. Nobody wants me. He says, don't worry, I will marry you. And only after you promise that I'll marry you, she agreed to go and be with Shimon, Shaul ben Aknanit. Give you a conception. That's the child that came out of it. The wife of Yaakov Avinu, Rachel and Leah. Hashem told Yaakov Avinu, hey, it's time to leave. It's time to leave. Came to him at night. So he told his wives, it's time to leave. Hashem told me to leave. So what they answered, Yaakov, very straight. This is my father used to bring as a proof. He says, oh, whatever my father owns is all ours. He sold us kenochios. He stole us, he married us off for money like we zone us aliens. And all kimecharon, he sold us. He sold us. And all the money he has is ours. And now, whatever Hashem tells you, we're going to listen. That's the argument. You listen. Hashem said you listen. So we explained that they wanted to work on themselves internally to listen to Hashem words. So they worked, but that's the way it works. Bila Marosha. What was the advice of Bila Marosha? Bila Marosha knew that the Jewish people have a misgeret, have a format of a family, as a clouds of glory. How is going to get those guys to come to be with those girls of Moab? Bilam's goal was to destroy the holiness of a familia, of a family. So really he couldn't. It's only when he had all those girls, it says in Chazal, that they had kupot, they had tents, from Jericho all the way to Hermon, Mount Hermon. And when people left the clouds of glory to do business, they stopped on the way, like inns on the way, in here and here, and there was all those beautiful girls. Now, what a normal young boy, Haredi young boy in the clouds of glory needs to do. So listen, if I'm going out to do business, that side, I'm going to trouble. It's a bad area to go, right? No, but I'm going for business. They're going out again, they went to trips, and they know that they can get into trouble, and they got themselves into trouble. That's what we spoke the whole week. But what was the goal of Bilam? The goal of Bilam was that he knew that if he would cause the boys of Israel to sin with those girls, he will destroy the Jewish family. The Jewish people are full of tznius. Each tent is not against the other. They have tznius. They have strong family morals and ethics. You cannot break that. How do you break it? You get the easy fish. Young boys, the strong boys, travel around to do business. I'm going to pull them down with non-Jewish girls. And then I will destroy the holiness of the family, the boundaries of the Jewish people. With this, my Rebbe, Shlomo Sha'anan, Chaim Shlomo Shaman said, we can solve a very big wonder. We see the story here, after the sin of Nois Midian, Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu to get rid of Midian, but suddenly you have about 10 parshas in the between, and only then it goes back to kill Midian. What are the parshas? The parshas, the yichus, the inheritance, Nedogim, vows. What this has to do with that story we have? So he said, it's exactly to show the power of Jewish family. The power of Jewish family is money. The money stays in the family. And it goes to the son, daughter not. While she's still there, she gets from the father. If there's no father, there's no boys, only girls, she gets it. She has to get stay in the tribe. If a girl makes a vow, her das of vows and das kolanoderes al das avir noderes. Any girl that makes a vow, she vows in the knowledge of a father. Because a whole mind of a girl, when she's in the house of her father, she's under her father. Familia, family. The power of family. The power of holiness of family. Hashem says, oh, now I'm going to strengthen, leave all those mitzvahs. Or to show the power of the holiness of the binding of Jewish family that Balaam wanted to destroy. And when he binds all those mitzvahs to Jewish families, go ahead and destroy the Midianites. So this is a very big message. If somebody wants to train his kids to make sure they're going in a proper way, the first thing he needs to do, let's say you have a daughter, have a son, who knows what, then they have one eye outside, one eye inside, and all mixed up, becoming, how do you say, pozel? Cross-eyed. Yeah, cross-eyed. How do you get those two eyes to go back to the book? They'll be back. You're strengthening the advantages of the family, spiritually and physically. When you strengthen that, which is that much more to lose than to gain, they will calculate themselves, and they will straighten themselves out. It's bodu kamenusim. You can check it. My father showed me, he checked it. A lot of students in the yeshiva, rabbis, now they're rabbis, grandparents, who knows what, that pound their girls and the daughters and sons. They came to him for advice. Says, listen, your daughter needs to feel that you can give her more than this creep, this who knows what, this taxi driver, this pilot, this, whatever. Some guy who's not a learner of Torah learning, and he's not a guy that you want for your daughter. You know, the story will bring the holiness and the chinuchi trainer. She needs to end the feel, first of all, that she didn't lose it, and she has much more to gain by her father than other people. And more than that, he said, if you give your daughter, my sister told me that my father tried her, and she said it worked. She was 16, 17 years old, and she started looking at people, you know, it's natural. She says, no, I want to give you love. He gave her love, he hugged her, he spoke to her, he says, now go on the street, come back home, tell me if you looked on guys. She told me that, and she didn't look, she had no desire to look. Because she was fitting internally. Love and care, her father, and whatever it is. So you had no need to look outside. But it's a natural need. There's no push, there's no turbo. There's no reason. So really, why those kids went out of the clouds of glory? And they knew they get into trouble? Because the strengthening of the family of the Jew wasn't strong enough. Hashem had to add all those parshas before we go and get rid of Midian, strengthen our power of family. When you strengthen the power of family, all those problems fade away and go away. Very big issue. Hashem should give us the bracha to succeed the mechanech, our kids, our daughters, our talmidim children. So we cannot even akash רוצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות לפיקה עיר בו עם תויר משנה הבא